So let's start in a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You want to spread your fingers out wide. Your feet you want to be completely parallel to each other. About hips width distance apart is pretty good. Now I have a big arch, you see? I want to draw my tailbone down so I'm not completely letting my ribs splay open. So I want to wrap my biceps, so to speak, so that the insides of my elbows and the soft parts of my elbows are pointing straight toward each other. Now I want to draw my tailbone down and press back into my heels. Look, your heels might not be able to touch the ground. That's okay. If you need to, you can stay upright, put a slight bend in your knees. And now you take an inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale. Create a number 7. Draw your knee to your elbow, or your knee to your wrist rather, and your ankle to your wrist. Come up high, take an inhale, lengthen up. Look over your right shoulder so you square your hips off. Now, from here, I'm flexible. It's not to say that I'm not feeling a little discomfort. I am, because it's not a comfortable pose. These hips are tight, they just are. You're driving, you're walking, you're sitting at desks, and your hips simply get tight, and that's how it is. So if you'd like, just lift yourself up a little bit, and if you have a block or a blanket handy, just tuck it under here so you cushion this right hamstring and glute. If you don't need that, here we go. Take an inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, slowly walk your hands down. Let your forehead rest on another block or a blanket if you have it handy, or just on the backs of your hands, like this. So you're totally, it's warm today, and it's warm in my apartment, so I'm a little flexible. Plus I already worked out today, so I'm feeling quite relaxed here, and I'm just going to sink into this and feel this. This is also my right hand side. I'll just come up to speak to you. This is also my right hand side, and my right side is a heck of a lot more, shall we say, more flexible. But in being so much more flexible, the left side is so much less flexible and actually much more uncomfortable for me. So we'll see that when we go to the left-hand side. But for now, I'll just be quiet and let you relax into this as much as you can. Tell yourself to relax, to let go. Keep breathing. Focus on your breath. And while you're here, I'll give you something to think about. The Dalai Lama said, happiness is not something ready-made. It is something we create through our actions. Happiness is not something ready-made. It is something we create through our actions. So ideally we hold this pose for a minute to a minute and a half. We'll take 3 more breaths here, so take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. One more inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And walk your hands in toward your hips. Press your left toes into your mat. Press back. Find three-legged dog. Open up your right hip. Rotate your hip. Bend and straighten your knee. Rotate your ankle. And come back to downward facing dog. We'll take the other side. Inhale, lift your left toes high. Exhale, half pigeon to the left. So you create a sort of a number 7 here. You align your left ankle with your left wrist, your left knee with your left wrist, other way around. Left ankle with right wrist, left knee with left wrist. Come to center. Look over your left shoulder, square your hips. So this is going to be a different sensation. Again, if you need a blanket or a block, tuck it under your left hip. Take an inhale, stretch out. Exhale, fold forward. And rest here. Try to bring your attention away from the uncomfortableness of the pose and into your breath. Settle in. Let go. How is this side different from the other side? It's very uncomfortable for me, so I'm coming up a little bit. I don't need a block under my left hip, but I do need to come out and readjust. And now I can go down again. Keep breathing. Try to allow yourself to go a little bit deeper into the pose. Maybe it feels really great. Maybe not. You're allowed not to like the pose. You're allowed not to be comfortable in the pose. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Walk your hands in toward your hips. Press your right toes into your mat. Find three-legged dog. Stretch out. Open up that hip. Come back to downward facing dog.